I'm Aaron Heatbox Heaton. I know. I'm Aaron Heaton. My name's Aaron Heatbox Heaton. I'm the creator and host of SoulPlayers. I'm a professional beatboxer for 12, 13 years, amateur video game programmer, and what SoulPlayers is a culmination of all my favorite things. Taking video games and live performance, toss in a little funk music, and make this live show, which is really influenced by the people that watch it live on the internet. They can type in the chat and really affect the way that these games between me and all the other competitors pan out. I'm a touring musician, so I spend a lot of time on the road. Oftentimes I'm pulling out the laptop and working on code and doing whatever. SoulPlayers is great because it takes those two different worlds, the video game world and the live performance world, and it really melds them together into one thing, which really, I think, represents who I am better than either of those two worlds ever could by themselves. I made all the parts of SoulPlayers. I made all the programming and the crappy MS Paint graphics and all the funk music and all the sound effects, usually with my mouth. So, yeah, everything that's a success, totally my fault, and everything that's a failure is totally my fault too. I'm just a guy in my basement. I taught myself how to code and taught myself how to network computers together. And really what I'm doing is Frankensteining all these different pieces together, either through code or through physical equipment that I have to buy. So the thing crashes, and it's funny, if you watch our show live, you'll probably see it crash at some point.
Dang it, dang it, dang it. Bumpy Cars is busted.
People have actually told me that their favorite part of the show is when it breaks. They like to watch me squirm and get sweaty while I try to frantically fix it and bring it back up online. Of course, all my hard work is not their favorite part. SoulPlayers has all original music, and it's all funky. I love funk music. It's my favorite kind of music. I wanted the game to have a uplifting, silly, funky vibe. And most of the sound effects I made with my mouth, and a lot of the music, most of it I made using Pro Tools and a bunch of the software sample sounds that are built in there. There's some ukulele in there, and there's, some other singing and stuff like that, but most of it is done in Pro Tools. I'm not a great artist, and I thought, hey, let's embrace that. I made all the graphics myself in a program pretty much exactly the same as MS Paint. For one, that's what my art looks like, and two, it makes it so the game doesn't take itself too seriously. I think people can tell in about 3 seconds that, oh, this is a silly time. The long-term goal of SoulPlayers is to raise money for charities. SoulPlayers is easily mobile, so we can take it to these different communities, and when we're there, we can raise money for something that they are passionate about. So for example, we could take it to a hospital, and people that are patients or that work at the hospital could be contestants on the show. And while we're there, we raise money for a charity that directly affects that hospital. So it's a great way to go to interesting locations, meet interesting people, make a really interesting show, and then benefit those communities that we bring the show to. It's come a long way since it started. It's still currently in beta testing, so we're testing it out in my basement. We broadcast live every Tuesday night, 6 to 9 p.m. Central Time. You can go to soulplayers.com. You can also hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where we show behind-the-scenes stuff sometimes. Sometimes we have contests. Sometimes we ask them questions about how to improve the game. So we really do listen to any suggestions from anybody online, and oftentimes implement them into the game.
It's completely denied. That was my favorite thing. Look at this.
Ever since I was like 3, I was trying to program games on the old Commodore 64 that we had at my house. That blew my mind, and I always wanted to make games ever since then. I've put, I don't even know how many hours, hundreds and hundreds of hours into this, and that was before anybody else even saw it. It's been really rewarding to see people laughing and smiling and having fun playing the games. I hope a lot of people join us in real life, and I hope even more people join us online to be part of it.